Hell.
Lil Baby's getting dragged right now for switching up on Lil Durk and trying to crawl back to NBA Youngboy's side. People saying he's desperate to be cool with YB again now that it's looking like Durk might be gone for a while. This ain't no small drama. It's straight up about fake loyalty and rappers switching sides when the pressure hits. The internet's buzzing because the streets can see what's really going on. These so-called brotherhoods fall apart the second it stops being convenient. Let's rewind a bit though. Cause once upon a time, Lil Baby and Youngboy were actually tight. Yeah, they were dropping hits, showing love, and keeping it real in the booth. Back in 2018 to 2020, they had real chemistry. Songs like One Shot and Cross Me had the streets lit. It wasn't some fake label setup. It was mutual respect. Both came from the bottom. Both were hungry. Both had that raw street grind that made fans connect with them instantly. But then, the energy flipped. Once the tension between Youngboy's crew and OTF started boiling, Baby had to pick a side. That's when the brotherhood cracked and the whole industry started watching who was gonna stay real and who was just playing the game. Things got messy, fast. Instead of standing by Youngboy or staying out of it, Lil Baby jumped straight on Lil Durk's side, and that's where everything got messy. The real question here ain't just about who he picked, it's about how fake loyalty runs deep in this industry. These rappers talk about brotherhood, but most of it's just business once the fame hits. See, when artists are still grinding, the loyalty feels real, because everyone's struggling together. They're broke, hungry, and dreaming big. But when success comes, the love turns into strategy. Who's the most beneficial to stand next to, who's got more power, and who's winning the beef right now? That's when loyalty starts to fade, and the real ones start showing their true colors. Lil Baby probably told himself he was just making a smart move siding with Durk. Maybe he thought OTF was stronger. Maybe he thought Youngboy was gonna take the L. Or maybe he just felt closer to Durk at the time. But no matter how you spin it, he left a friend hanging when that friend needed him most. Then came the moment that split the game apart. The night King Von lost his life outside that Atlanta hookah lounge. A fight with...
For real. If somebody die, I'm gonna pick a side. Other than that, they don't miss me with that shit.
That makes sense.
For real.
I get it.
Quando Rondo turned tragic when Lil Tim pulled the trigger, ending Von's rise right as he was taking over the streets. That wasn't just another headline. That was a cultural shift. Von wasn't just Durk's artist, he was family, and his loss forced everyone to choose a side. Neutrality was no longer an option. It was war. What went down next was pure psychology, and it ran deep. When someone loses their life in a beef like this, everyone connected gets forced to pick a side. There's no such thing as staying neutral when blood's been spilled. You can't play both sides when one crew just lost their brother. The streets don't allow that. Loyalty becomes a test, and not everyone passes. Youngboy's camp, including Quando Rondo, suddenly found themselves in a war with OTF. This wasn't rap beef anymore. It was real life, real danger, real revenge, real pressure. Everyone had to show where they truly stood, and Lil Baby made his choice loud and clear. Instead of keeping it solid with Youngboy, he went straight to Durk's corner. That wasn't just business, that was betrayal, plain and simple. Baby tried to play it off in an interview saying, "I don't care about rapper beef, but if somebody died, I'm gonna pick a side." And somebody did die, King Von. So, he made it clear which camp he was riding with. But here's the wild part. Baby basically admitted he turned his back on Youngboy over something YB wasn't even part of. Youngboy didn't pull the trigger, didn't start the fight, and wasn't even there that night. Yet Baby still dropped his friend like it was nothing. That's when people started questioning his loyalty for real, cause it showed his moves were more about image than integrity. Even after all that, Lil Baby still turned his back on Youngboy. And that move said everything about his character. Instead of standing on loyalty, he stood on connections. He wasn't being real, he was being strategic. That's not loyalty, that's opportunism wearing a friendly mask. Meanwhile, Youngboy started to feel the shift. Like the whole industry was turning its back on him after King Von's death. Rappers who once shouted him out went silent. People who used to chase collabs stopped answering calls. Even the ones he thought were brothers, like Lil Baby, started moving funny and picking the opposite side. You could hear the pain in Youngboy's music, that sense of being isolated, fighting everyone, and trusting no one. He started rapping about how fake the industry felt, how people only love you when it benefits them, and how fast they switch when things get messy. That energy hit deep because it was real. Being one of the biggest artists but feeling like the whole game wants to see you crash, that's a different kind of pain. It can mess with your head, make you paranoid, make you cold. But instead of folding, Youngboy turned that pressure into passion. He put it all in his songs. The betrayal, the fake love, the politics, and that raw honesty is exactly why his fans never left him. They could feel every word. When Youngboy finally saw how deep the industry was freezing him out, he snapped and dropped one of the coldest diss tracks of his career, I Hate Youngboy. This wasn't just a jab at Lil Durk. It was a full-on call-out to the entire industry. He came for everyone who turned their back, including Lil Baby. That track was raw, unfiltered, and brutally honest. In that song, Youngboy didn't hold back. He exposed the fake loyalty, the fake friendships, and how folks switched sides the second it benefited them. He made it clear he wasn't begging for peace or clout. He was declaring war on anyone who tried to play him. That's rare energy, and it showed just how real he's always been. But underneath all that rage, you could hear the pain too. The voice of someone tired of being betrayed and blackballed for something he didn't even do. You could feel how deep the frustration ran. Being blamed, being isolated, and still standing tall through it all. That's why that record hit different. It wasn't just a diss, it was therapy through fire. Then things took a darker turn in August 2022, when Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab, was tragically shot and killed in Los Angeles. The streets went wild with rumors, pointing at OTF and Lil Durk's camp as the ones behind it. And just like that, the tension reignited. Now the whispers turned into accusations, and the beef got even bloodier. Word on the streets was wild. They said Lil Durk allegedly set up a murder-for-hire plot to get revenge for King Von's loss. The supposed target was Quando Rondo, but things went left, and his cousin ended up being the one caught in the crossfire. This wasn't some random street moment. It was allegedly a full-blown organized hit that crossed state lines and pulled in major attention from the feds. That kind of move shows just how deep the pain ran inside OTF. Losing Von wasn't just losing a rapper, it was losing family. And when family gets taken, the streets demand payback. But this wasn't just street talk anymore. This was an alleged plan that involved money, movement, and coordination across states. And that's exactly what brought the feds knocking. What's wild is that Durk's rumored thirst for revenge might have been the thing that cost him everything. If he had just stayed focused on the music and his success, he might still be living free. But chasing revenge, allegedly trying to even the score, turned into a situation that could end his career and his freedom. Now the feds got the case stacked heavy. Wiretaps, bank records, travel logs, even people ready to testify. They're saying Durk used OTF like a whole criminal network, paying for hits, organizing moves, and handling logistics. And with that kind of evidence, it's looking bad. This ain't a small street case. This is a federal setup that could land him behind bars for life. What makes things even darker for Durk is that this ain't state court, it's federal. And when the feds step in, it's game over for most. Their conviction rate is over 90%, and they don't press charges unless they're sure they can win. The fact that they came for Durk with these heavy accusations means they believe they've got enough proof to lock him away for good. Just think about that fall. One minute he's living the dream, winning awards, pulling millions, running the charts. Next minute he's facing life behind bars. That kind of fall hits the mind hard. The pressure, the regret, the what ifs. It eats you alive when you realize your own choices might have set up your downfall. But here's where the story flips again. The switch up. Now that Durk's case looks bad and it seems like he might not touch freedom again anytime soon, the industry's starting to show its fake love. The same rappers who were shouting OTF and clowning Youngboy are now suddenly liking his posts, showing fake peace signs online and acting brand new. It's wild, because when Durk was free and powerful, everyone wanted to be close. But the moment his name got tied up with the feds, people started jumping ship. And leading that switch up, Lil Baby. When Durk was up, Baby was loyal, posting, dissing, and riding for him heavy. But now, he's back trying to be cool with Youngboy again, liking his posts like nothing ever happened. That's not loyalty, that's straight opportunism. These rappers ain't loyal to people, they're loyal to their careers. When Durk was on top, it was beneficial to ride with him. But now that he's staring down serious time, suddenly everyone's playing nice with his enemies and pretending nothing ever happened. The loyalty evaporated the second the fame and power faded. Lil Baby's Instagram likes say it all. This is the same dude who picked Durk's side over Youngboy, saying he was choosing sides cause somebody died. And now he's out here liking YB's posts like it's sweet again. That ain't no random double tap. That's a message. Baby's telling the whole industry he's ready to make peace, ready to move on, and no longer loyal to Durk now that the power's shifted. But here's the real kicker. That move exposes everything about Baby's character. If he was truly solid, he'd ride for Durk even when things got rough. If he really stood on what he said, he wouldn't be switching back when the pressure hit. This just shows his loyalty was never built on respect. It was built on convenience. Psychologically, it's survival mode. Baby sees Durk's future looking shaky, so he's protecting his own image, trying to keep doors open by making nice with Youngboy again. But that type of fake loyalty, that cold, calculated switching, is exactly what's poisoning the industry. And Baby ain't alone. Now that Durk's stuck, plenty of other rappers who were screaming OTF are suddenly trying to play neutral and make peace too. It's wild. Now the same people who helped blackball Youngboy are suddenly out here liking his posts and sending little peace signals like nothing happened. It's wild. and it exposes the ugly truth about the rap game. Loyalty in this industry is conditional. Friendships are just business moves, and principles disappear the moment they stop being profitable. These artists ain't riding for nobody but themselves and their bag. They probably think switching sides early makes them smart, like they're saving their careers before Dirk's case gets worse. But all they're really doing is showing the world that their loyalty don't mean a thing. Their word's fake and their bond is paper thin. And you can bet Youngboy is watching all of it. Every like, every fake peace move, every I was never against you moment. He's taking notes on who's solid and who's just chasing the winning side. He's seeing exactly who's real and who's scared to stand alone. But this ain't just about a few fake friends. It's about how the whole industry moves. The music game is built on connections, image, and staying close to whoever's hot at the moment. That's why loyalty feels like a business deal. It's all transactional. When artists are on the come up, it's you help me, I help you. But once they reach the top, it flips. Now it's about keeping power, staying relevant, and protecting status. That's why you see so many switch-ups. Because for most of them, friendship ends where fame begins. They say it's not personal, it's business. But that mindset kills any shot at real loyalty or genuine connection. What makes it worse is that hip-hop was built on loyalty, respect, and keeping it real. But the industry side of it runs on pure strategy. It's about who benefits who, who's trending, and how to protect your brand. That's not loyalty. That's manipulation dressed up as friendship. And now, look who's standing tall through it all. Youngboy. From his point of view, everything playing out right now probably feels like sweet vindication. He warned everybody about the fake love, the politics, the snakes in the circle. And now it's all happening right in front of the world. The same people who switched on him are trying to come back like nothing happened. But here's the twist. Youngboy never folded. He didn't chase industry approval, didn't beg for forgiveness, didn't trade his morals for fame. He stayed solid when it mattered most, and that's exactly why he's in power now. He's the one who gets to choose who's forgiven and who stays cut off. That's a whole new kind of leverage, one built from loyalty, not fake alliances. Still, being proven right hits both ways. On one hand, it's gotta feel good to watch the fakes expose themselves. But deep down, it's also disappointing, because it confirms that the industry's love is shallow. Youngboy probably wished he'd been wrong about folks like Baby, but this whole mess just shows the truth. In hip-hop, street code and industry politics don't mix. In the streets, loyalty means everything. You stand by your people through wins and losses, no matter what. You don't switch sides just cause the tide changes or someone falls off. That's not loyalty. That's weakness. But in the industry, it's the total opposite. Loyalty there is conditional. Folks only ride with whoever helps their brand. And the second your name gets messy, they back off like they never knew you. Every move becomes a calculation. Will this feature help my numbers? Will this friendship hurt my image? It's all strategy, no heart. And Lil Baby's behavior is the perfect example of that. When it made sense to rock with Dirk, he was front row shouting OTF all day. But now that being cool with Youngboy looks beneficial again, he's switching sides like nothing happened. That's not loyalty, that's straight businessman. The sad part is hip-hop wasn't built like that. This culture came from the streets, from loyalty, unity, and standing tall even when things got tough. But the industry twisted those values into fake love and opportunistic partnerships. Everything real got replaced by politics and PR. And the fallout, it's heavy. Once that trust breaks, it's gone for good. Even if Youngboy and Baby make peace publicly, that bond's never gonna be the same. Once someone shows they'll switch on you when it's convenient, you'll never truly trust them again, no matter what picture they post or what song they drop together. Once that trust is broken, it changes everything forever. Even if these artists manage to patch things up with Youngboy or distance themselves from Dirk, everybody knows the truth now. Their loyalty's up for sale. They've shown the world they'll switch sides again the second the power shifts. That kind of energy kills any shot at real friendship in this game. Now, the whole industry's moving like chess pieces. Everybody calculating, protecting their image, and waiting for the next big wave to ride. That's not loyalty, that's survival mode. But it's toxic for the culture. Because you can't build creativity or authenticity in an environment full of fear and fake love. From a cold business standpoint, Baby's switch-up might seem smart. Dirk might be locked up for decades, so aligning with Youngboy could look like the better career move. But here's the twist. When your loyalty is tied to convenience instead of character, people start seeing through it. Fans lose respect, artists stop trusting you, and your smart play turns into a reputation killer. Baby probably thinks he's playing the game right, protecting his bag early, but what he's really doing is exposing himself, showing everyone that his loyalty can't be trusted when things get hard. That's the kind of move that might get him short-term wins, but long-term damage. Because in hip-hop, the streets remember who stayed solid and who flipped when pressure hit. And once your name gets tied to betrayal, it never fully shakes off. This whole situation shows exactly what's broken in today's hip-hop culture. The fake loyalty, the clout chasing, the way people toss principles aside the second it benefits them. It's killing the authenticity that made this culture real. Hip-hop was built on truth, loyalty, and standing on your word, but the industry twisted it into something hollow, where everything's transactional and loyalty depends on who's hot right now. That shift is destroying the soul of hip-hop. The new generation's watching all this chaos and learning the wrong message. That loyalty don't matter. That principles can be tossed if it helps your career. That switching sides is just part of the game. That's dangerous because it teaches artists to be fake and strategic instead of real and solid. The wild part, the ones who stay 10 toes down, like Youngboy, get treated like outsiders, while the ones who flip and play both sides, like Baby, get rewarded with industry love and mainstream perks. That's a backward system that's poisoning the culture from the inside out. At its core, this story ain't just about Baby and Youngboy. It's about the death of loyalty in hip-hop. It's about how fame and power twist real friendships into business deals. Baby had a real bond with Youngboy built on respect and shared struggle, but the minute it stopped serving his image, he traded loyalty for politics. And now that the tables turned again, he's trying to act like nothing happened. But that's not how real ones move. Because once you break loyalty, you can't buy it back. You can't just turn loyalty on and off when it's convenient. You can't abandon somebody when they're down bad and then come crawling back when it benefits you. Real loyalty don't work like that. It's unconditional. And once you cross that line, you can't just rewind it. Youngboy's sitting back, watching every switch up, every fake handshake, every "I was just confused" excuse, and he's taking notes. Now he knows exactly who's real and who's just chasing trends. That knowledge is gonna shape how he moves for years to come. What's sad is this whole mess could have been avoided if people just stood on their principles, if Baby had stayed neutral or kept it solid with Youngboy, if these other artists didn't jump on the black ball train, if folks chose loyalty over politics, none of this fake energy would have even existed. But instead, we're seeing everything wrong with the modern game. Fake loyalty, calculated moves, and principles that vanish when it's convenient. That's the real story behind why Lil Baby's now begging to be cool with NBA Youngboy. This ain't about friendship or respect, it's about protecting his image and career. And that right there, that's what's killing the authenticity hip-hop was built on. Cause real ones stay solid, but the fakes always expose themselves. And right now, Baby's switch up is showing the world exactly who's who. The streets are watching, Youngboy's taking notes, and the whole culture's learning what happens when you choose politics over principles. No cap. Make sure you like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.